What is good, homies? So I used to work at AT&T. I think I worked there for like 4.5, almost 5 years. It wasn't a horrible job. I guess it kind of was, but it wasn't in the sense that like they paid me really well. It wasn't that bad. Like if there was a slow day, I just sat at a chair and I just played on my phone. But these managers, I listen. I almost don't want to blame them. They probably have these metrics that are so insane to hit, and then they got to push them down to us, and we got to hit these certain goals, and it just gets to the point where it's just so convoluted, and a lot of people get pushed to either lie or do things that are unethical because they're trying to hit these goals and they don't want people to be on their back all the time. Or there's people that just really like money and they're like, if I lie and I tell people this and I get them to sign up for stuff, I'm gonna make more money, so I'm gonna just do that. I'm just not that guy. I'm not that guy. I like to help people out. When people would leave and they were saving money and they were happy, like it just made me feel good. Like they were paying us good hourly, my commission would still be decent. Like I don't need to be making a crazy amount of money. Throughout my time working there, I have so many stories of just bullshit that went down or things that managers tried to make me do. It's absolutely insane. I just want to share with you guys 5 things, at least 5 things. There's so much more I could share. There's so much. So if you guys enjoy this video, let me know down in the comments. But I'm going to share with you guys 5 things that I learned working at AT&T, most of which actually affect you guys, and then some of things that just affect anybody who wants to go and work at AT&T. So just pay close attention. And if you ever go into an AT&T, there's a few tips in here that you definitely want to take with you. Actually, if you go into any cell phone store, some of these things are very similar. It's going to be the same across the board. So just definitely take some of these tips with you. First and foremost, I just want to start this off with the biggest tip ever. Anytime you go into any cell phone company, I only worked at AT&T, but I would guarantee this is across the board, whether it's Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, AT&T, whatever the case might be. If you are adding a phone number to your account, if you're upgrading your phone, if you're changing your plan, if you're adding a feature, removing a feature, if absolutely anything, the littlest thing is changing on your plan, you will hear a printer go off. What that is your customer service summary, otherwise known as the CSS. At least that's what AT&T calls it. It may be a different term at Verizon, Sprint, and T-Mobile, but that is basically what it is. And unfortunately, it's something that I want to say 95+% of the time is never given to the customer and never gone over with them. And I don't know if this is every other company, but AT&T, 100% is happening at almost at least every store in my area. And it's not a good thing. And the reason why is because like you need to know what was changed and what you're expecting and what, like, you need to know these things. And half the time, like at the end of the day, we'd have like an encyclopedia of papers to go through the paper shredder, because absolutely nobody would give out the CSS. And I would go over every single part of that thing thoroughly through and through, because I never wanted someone to come back and say, hey, he never told me this. I could say, well, no, listen, we could watch it back on the cameras, but I showed you every page. We talked about stuff. I circled things. I go over everything. But a lot of people will not give you that CSS. So if you ever make any changes and you do not receive that at the end, request the summary of what you guys just did and what changes were made to your account. And if you don't understand it, make them show you and explain it to you so you do understand it, because otherwise you're going to end up in a situation where 14 days or however many days are going to go by where it cannot be reversed and you're now going to be stuck, and you don't want that to happen. Now, aside from that, for the most part, the majority of people that you're going to work with at AT&T are good people. They're good employees. They do want to help you. They do want to save you money. They are trying to get you on the best plan, the best situation for you. Unfortunately, sometimes mistakes do happen. Math can be done wrong. It's an unfortunate side effect of just us not being perfect. But you have to very closely watch out for those people that just want to get you, that just want to make money, that just want to hit these goals, want to look good. Because here's the thing, if the employee, like the top, I don't remember if it was like the top 13 employees or it's like a percentage or something like that, but the top so many employees get to go to Summit every year, which could be in Hawaii, it could be in Florida. It's like a 2-week thing. They pay for everything. They give you a shitload of money supposedly to just go there, spend, have fun, do whatever you want to do, and then you can even use your vacation time to extend that time. And then, I mean, obviously you're paying for everything beyond there, but you're getting paid now because you're using vacation time, so you're still making out. They give bonuses throughout the year. Samsung will give bonuses for selling, so it's like there's a lot of reasons for us to push certain products and things like that. So you got to go into this and be very careful. So first and foremost, one thing that a lot of people are probably aware, and this goes with almost, I guarantee you it goes with a lot of other services and stuff like that, is when you go in and say you want to save money and there's new plans out and stuff like that, anytime anybody tells you they can save you money but there's more stuff that you're going to get out of it, you just got to consider that your bill could be even lower if you don't accept all those things. Because the way that they look at it is they want us to go into it and be like, okay, if we put you on this new plan, it's going to save you $50 a month, but if I can sell you this 2-year tablet, it's $10 a month, get you to buy about $150 worth of accessories, which they have the accessory on installment plan now, so you only pay the taxes up front and then you pay like an extra $25 a month. So now I'm looking at it like, okay, I got you the tablet, I got you the accessory installment, that's $35 a month. month. So really what I'm going to do is I'm going to present to you that I can save you $15 a month. You'll be able to get all these cool items in the case and the speaker and stuff like that. You can have this tablet that you can use, you can give to somebody else in your family. Funny side note, I want to say when I worked there for 4.5 years, 80% of the tablets sold. Most of those people came back later the year, like whenever they got their phone, they're like, oh yeah, it's just sitting on the shelf, I don't really use it. And they've been paying $10 a month for it. It's like people get got in this tablet thing so often. If you have no use for it, please do not get a tablet. If you're only going to use it in your house, go save up the money and buy it at Best Buy. Overall, it's $100 cheaper. You don't have to pay any monthly service charge. You just hook it to your Wi-Fi and use it as much as you want. Always remember to ask, well, what if I don't get the speaker? What if I don't get the tablet, but I do go with the new plan? Like, ask these questions, because then you'll find out that you could be saving $50 a month, and you might, instead of buying items that you don't need and only saving $15 a month. Now, there's also going to be situations where people just make mistakes, unfortunately. So it doesn't hurt to ask for a second opinion. Like, if you're not making a decision right then, it doesn't hurt to stop at another store, see what they say, bring that information. If they give you a different number, then try to ask them, like, compare, be like, why did they give me this number? Why did you, like, try to figure it out? And then even from there, I would go back and then ask, because here's the thing, sometimes somebody gives you one number, you go to another place, that person can't figure it out, but they're trying to make their sale, so they're trying to maneuver it a different way, and it just becomes very convoluted. And I know it sounds horrible, but it's the truth, man. That's really what it is. The best example of somebody being got is, like, say someone's coming from Verizon or Sprint, or they're coming from another company. You pour all of your lines over, we tell you that we can pay so much of the contracts off. If it's not explained properly and you think you're going to get the whole contract paid off, and then you realize you're only going to get half of it paid off because you have to trade in the phones and use that money with us, and there's a lot of different things going on with that. The problem with it is that once you've switched over, they then close your account, they send you a bill, you owe that amount in full. And then if you're with us and you decide, oh my God, wait, you're not paying it all off, I don't want to do this, I want to go back, Verizon isn't just going to let you re-sign up and then not have to pay those bills. Like, those are going to be now sent to you in full as a bill, and then they'll re-sign you up as a new customer, basically rerun your credit and everything. And then with us, the stuff that you signed up for, if it was past the 14-day return period, you now are going to then be in debt for those phones in total, because we're going to be like, well, we can't take them back, you're past the 14 days. And half the time you don't realize this within those 14 days because you don't even get your bill within those 14 days. So you find out way after the fact, and you're in a position where you just can't turn, there's nothing you can do. You're going to call customer service, you're going to get mad, you're going to tell us that you're going to call all these places and get all this figured out, and so on and so forth, and you're going to call the Better Business Bureau. And here's what's going to happen at the end of the day, pretty much nothing. The Better Business Bureau might come through and hit up AT&T. They're going to discipline a few employees, but you're still going to be in a situation where you're just not going to be helped. You need to be extremely sure that this person is giving you good information, because if not, I wish you well, my friend. I wish you well. So half the time that I worked there, I don't think AT&T had any damn idea what they wanted. There was a period of time where it was like, okay, we need to get the My AT&T app installed on your phone, make you an account if you don't already have one, and we have to get you logged in. So there was times where, like, you would come in and you had an account, so we didn't need to make one, and you had it installed on your phone, but you didn't know your password. So then we had to figure out the password, but then your email, you didn't have the password to your email, so we had to try to figure out your email password to get in there to reset your My AT&T password, just so we can get you logged in to claim that we were going to show you something or show you how you can check certain things. But in the end of the day, we just wanted to log in because we needed the metric. There's times where we'd keep people there for 10-15 minutes because we're close to the end of the day and our metrics aren't looking that well, and we got to get the login. Make sure you get the login. And they would tell us this every time we'd walk in the back to get the phone. Did they log into My AT&T? It was the stupidest thing ever. The metric of all metrics was the smart check machine. It was a little tablet that we would hook your phone up to and claim that it ran diagnostics, but truthfully all it did was it installed a profile on your phone, so that way it can run through all of the settings. Like, it can up your brightness and lower your brightness and then ask us if it worked or not. So it never actually ran diagnostics. It just used all of the functions of your phone and then would ask us if we saw it working properly or heard the sound properly. So it was a pretty stupid machine. It was to the point where we would sell you a new phone, and then as we set up the phone, we would tell you that, oh, we're just going to run diagnostics on it to make sure everything is okay with it, which it always was. If it wasn't, it was just straight DOA out of the box, and it was obvious. I don't know, man. I just really had a hard time doing stupid things like that. I really did. So this one, I don't want to talk too long on because I don't know all of the facts to it, but I know about it because in our store at a certain point, our union rep, she was the person that would talk with the union steward, I think is what they call the person that basically runs the union in that region or whatever, and would go to the different stores and talk to people and make sure everything was being handled properly. But she had taken over, and there was a period of time where they put an incentive out where it was something to do with DirecTV or something attached to DirecTV or whatever. And if you sold so much, you could make this much as a bonus, and there was no cap on it, which basically meant meant you can sell a whole lot of them, you're just going to continue to rack up that money. There was a certain point where it multiplied. And so there was one store, at least in our region, there was one store that really, really went above and beyond, sold a lot of this, made a lot of bonus money. And I would assume that this happened other places, but I only know about our region. And basically the following month, AT&T, they were going to pay out that commission. There was no doubt about it. They were going to pay it out. But if you look, when these people went and they looked at their next month's commission check, it started at negative $500. Now, I'm sure there's some legal way that AT&T has in the writing in the contract where they can do this, but basically they went and retroactively changed the way that the bonus worked because I'm assuming that they paid out more money than they wanted to. I don't remember what the reasoning was. I'm sure that they put some stupid reasoning in there, but yeah, basically they were taking the money back from these people on their following commission check. So it was just like, it's like if you made too much money, they would retroactively change things and they would take that money away from you. Now, most of the time what would happen is while you were in that specific month, they would change something and then your commission that month, which might have been $1,500 or whatever, all of a sudden you saw it drop down to like $1,000 and you're like, what? And then you read the article and it was stupid. It's like if I hit all these goals and I make so much money because I'm like, all right, nice, now I can go put that towards this new car I want or put it towards this, and then AT&T just decides, well, sorry, we're paying you too much, we're gonna dial that back. So it's like, F it, bro. There's literally no point. Now, like I said, I could be talking out of my ass. There might have been more details involved with that, but that was what I was told from our union steward. She was not happy about it at all, but it didn't seem like anything ever came of it. So there must have been something within the contract that legally AT&T is able and allowed to do that. So it's unfortunate. Now, this is a personal experience that I had, and it really, really rubbed me the wrong way. So looking back, maybe I got more upset than I should have, but I still didn't overreact. I didn't do anything out of the norm. I'm still mad. You know what? I didn't overreact. I didn't, and I'm extremely upset about this. So let me explain. Every so often they had get-together meetings where like different stores within the area, within so many, within an hour, 2 hours of each other, would all come together at one location, and we would have a meeting, and there would be the different managers there, the area manager, so on and so forth. So we had one of those meetings. I was there, and just a little backstory. I don't talk about it a lot. My girlfriend, she does deal with mental illness, and she's been through a lot, and I'm proud of her. And we work every day to get ourselves to a point where she's going to be able to do everything that she needs to do. And I love her to death. And so at this time, she had just recently been back into the hospital because the medicine she was on was horribly wrong. It's a guessing game, which is the worst. I cannot stand it, man. There's a few doctors that I just real would like to, but whatever, it is what it is. But anyways, she had been hearing voices that were telling her to hurt herself. And so it was a very, very stressful time in my life. And so I'm at this meeting where a few weeks past this happening, she was somewhere safe and they had switched the medicine and things were going a lot better at the time. But it's a sensitive subject. But we're at this meeting. This manager that's up here talking, he makes a comment to somebody about, oh, it just must be the voices in your head. And well, that might seem like such a small statement. And I get it. Like a lot of people might even look at this video and be like, well, that's not that serious, bro. And looking back, maybe it's not. But here's the thing. I didn't overreact. I didn't stop the meeting and say, oh my God, what did you say? And I didn't do any of that. I got upset, didn't want to get up and walk out and make a big scene. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to pick up my phone. I'm just going to go on Twitter. I'm going to play on my phone. I'm not going to pay attention anymore because I'm very upset that this is something that's okay to say because it's not okay. Like my girlfriend is dealing with this right in this moment. Everyone here thinks it's funny. So I'm playing on my phone, whatever. My assistant manager next to me, who I want to say was basically like a friend. We played League of Legends together. Like we'd be on Discord and talk and stuff like that. We were around the same age. So it was like we connected very well. But I understand he's at the same time, he is my assistant manager. So he's like, hey, Duane, what are you doing? Like, you shouldn't be on your phone. I explained the situation. I was like, this has just made me upset. And you know what? I don't want to pay attention. I don't want to be a part of this. I'm not going to make a scene though. It's not a big deal. So he left it alone because I think he agreed with me. So I'm sitting there on my phone. Our area manager across the way was suddenly on his phone. And then my manager's phone goes off. So I knew he texted him. So he must have texted him to tell me once again, he better get off his phone. So he's like, Duane, you got to get off your phone. I repeated why I wouldn't. And he's just like, Duane, get off your phone. So I was like, all right, whatever. I turned it off, put it in my pocket, still didn't make a scene. I just blankly kind of just watched. I was like, whatever, it's going to be over in 10, 15, 20 minutes. Like, I'm not going to make a big deal. It is what it is. we're going to move on past this. And I don't like this guy for making that comment, whatever. So I'm sitting there, I'm watching. So all of a sudden it becomes, hey, Duane, why don't you go up and do this part? And I want to say it was my area manager that presented the idea. And of course I was like, no, I'm good. I don't want to do it. I don't like, first of all, I have anxiety anyway. Like it might not seem like it sometimes. I could talk to a camera. I worked at AT&T where I'd work with customers and groups of people all the time, but if you put me in a setting I'm not comfortable in and you want me to stand in front of a bunch of people and talk, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't want to do that, and I feel like I shouldn't be subjected to that if I don't want to be, because it's not a part of my job description. So I was like, I don't want to do that. Aside from being mad, I wouldn't have did it anyway. So I was like, no, I turned it down. I offered again. I was like, no, I'm not going up there, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it. So I turned it down. I didn't think anything big of it. Somebody else went and did it. The area manager seemed a little upset that I didn't go, but I didn't think it was a big deal because I figured it's my choice. Like, you can't make me do that. And it's not mandatory. So whatever. So I go home, the rest of the day goes by, I go to work the next day. I get brought into the back office by my manager, who was not actually there. It was just my assistant manager, but he presents me with a letter, this long paper that I had to read through. It was signed off by all the managers that were there, including the area manager. And it basically said that I was disruptive. I disrupted the meeting. I was being very rude. I refused to be a part of it. Like all these things. Didn't say anything about the reason why I was upset, which I gotta be honest, kind of made me mad at my assistant manager because he signed off on it. And I feel like he should have chimed in like, hey, this is why Duane was mad. He told me in the moment. But yeah, so I got disciplined because I was upset that somebody made a joke about mental illness that I didn't find funny. I didn't yell. I didn't say anything. I didn't talk out to the class. I didn't do anything but just go on my phone for about 20 minutes. Once I was told to get off my phone, I got off of it. And I didn't want to volunteer and be a part of the whatever that was that we were doing at that time. So because of that, I got in trouble. The union did absolutely nothing. I called HR, and I even said to HR when I presented the whole thing, I was like, I'm not even trying to present this as I think the manager did something wrong making this joke. I'm not even trying to look for a discipline. I just want to make sure I don't get in trouble because I was upset that somebody did something I feel was inappropriate. Absolutely nothing came of it. It might have been, I think it was a final written warning or something like that. It was based around like, well, how do I know I'm not going to be volatile to a customer? I'm just like, bro, I wasn't volatile to anybody. Like it's absolutely insane. So I gotta be honest, this was one of the worst parts of the job. This was the part that probably made me the most miserable and would get me in arguments with my management, and it just overall made me not want to be a part of the company. So like with any sales company, which I understand, you don't take the first no as an answer, but there's times where people don't just give you a no, they give you an explanation. They give you something that makes sense, something that's solid, and I can maybe push a little bit, and then from there, I don't want to do it anymore. But it's to the point where it was like, dude, you have to harass these people, and if you don't, we're not gonna let you go back and if you go back to get the phone, you have to answer certain questions, and if they felt you didn't push it enough, you had to go back on the floor. Even though the customer now was anticipating their phone coming out, you'd have to go back out without their phone and just continue to try to find some way to maneuver pushing that sale, as awkward as it would feel at that point. I remember I think it was Christmas Eve or something like that, the first customer that came in, we had our area manager there, both of our managers on the floor. So I was like, all eyes are on me because I'm with this customer, and they were just talking about how they want us to push past a few no's, don't take the first answer. And so I was like, I gotta really go hard with this. I felt like I harassed this lady. I went so deep with DirecTV, I felt like I harassed her. It was to the point where she had to literally cut me off and just be like, listen, I just don't want it. And then when she left, my managers and my area manager actually praised me and were like, that's what we want to see, man. Yeah, get it. Go for it. And I'm like, yeah, but she left unhappy. Like she was almost mad at me because of how hard I pushed it. So now I'm probably going to get a bad survey, which we also get paid on. If she comes back, it's not like she's going to request to work with me when she wants to make a big purchase. So I just feel like you're taking money out of my pocket so I can harass a few people by the off chance that I might push them to just buy it because I'm bothering them so much. I can't do it. I can't do it. One of the worst situations was there was this older woman that came in, and I maybe late 50s, early 60s. She already said that she barely knows how to use the remote she has other than a few functions on it, and they wanted me to push to her DirecTV Now. Now she couldn't get the full-on DirecTV with the satellite because where she lived, she said they wouldn't allow it. So they wanted me to push the streaming service DirecTV Now, which basically means even though she can't figure out her remote barely and she watches like 2 channels, she would now have to go in through a Roku and figure out how to get in there, find the channels. I'm like, listen, she's never going to figure this out. That's the first thing that she said to me. But of course, my manager's like, well, she didn't say no, though. She still kind of seemed like she was going to allow you to talk about it. So just keep going with it and just let's try to get this sale. Well, I kept going with it because I didn't want to get in trouble. I was at a point where I think I was in that the job performance discipline. And I was like, I don't know what would happen if I don't want to be insubordinate. So I'm going to keep pushing it. So I kept talking about it and stuff. Finally, I actually got the sale. She went home with it, came back in the next day. She didn't understand how to use it. She wanted to return it. So I was just going to return it. And I was apologizing. My manager brings me in the back. Well, no, don't return it. Just show her how to use it now. No, we got to keep the sale. We got to keep the sale. So I'm sitting there trying to show her how to use it. She's so confused. She doesn't know what's going on. And then at that point, because I took so much time trying to show her, I felt like she didn't want to ask me to return it again because she just felt like I just spent all that time and she didn't want to admit that she didn't grasp it. And so she just went home again. And then she came back a week later and admitted to me that she didn't use it for the whole week and she just didn't come back in because she didn't know how to use it and she didn't want to keep bothering us. So at this point, like I feel like an asshole because I'm like, dude, this old lady just wants to watch her shows, the few channels that she knows, and now she's to the point where she's just not watching TV because she feels like she's bothering us to show her how to use something that we pushed on her that she didn't even want in the first place. This is the messed up shit with AT&T, man. It's just, and I guarantee, I'm not even, you know what, it's not even just AT&T. I'm sure it's Verizon, I'm sure it's Sprint, I'm sure it's T-Mobile, but I've only worked at AT&T. That's where my experience comes from. There's also times where, say, like I'm trying to push a DirecTV sale on a customer who came in with a problem, which I prefer to fix the problem first, but of course, we got to push DirecTV while we talk about the problem. So my manager comes over and he's trying to help with the problem, but he's also pushing DirecTV. He's trying to talk about it a little bit. As soon as the customer finally gets to the point where they're like, all right, listen, I don't want to talk about DirecTV right now. I came in with you guys last week. You worked with me. Now my bill is way higher than you told me it'd be. I want to figure this out first. As soon as a customer is direct like that and they just tell you what they want, my last manager would suddenly just get to one word answers. Oh, okay. Yeah, so, well, it looks like this here and that. Okay. And then he would just turn and walk away, not say bye, not say anything else, and then just leave me to continue to try to figure out the problem. Once he realized they didn't want DirecTV, he's like, oh, this is a waste of my time. I'm just going to move on and go somewhere else and try to get DirecTV. But I'm like, bro, like he says he worked with you or you were involved with the sale and now his bill is wrong. I wasn't even a part of this. So why wouldn't you stay here and help me try to figure this out when I came to get you because they wanted a manager involved? So this is just some of the shit that you deal with working at AT&T. I'm sorry to throw them under the bus, man, because when I first got the job, I literally would leave work and I'd have on my nice shirt, my pants, and everywhere that I would go, I was proud to have people see me in that because I was like, I work at a legit company now. I'm just saying, like, it just felt like a professional job. Like, it felt like I was a part of the business now. You know what I mean? Like, I was doing something good. And so I was really, really proud. I was happy. Every chance that I could get, if someone was like, where do you work? AT&T. I work at AT&T. Yeah. So, like, I was so proud of it. I was trying to tell all my friends they should apply. I was trying to tell people they need to get a job here. This is the way to go. They pay well. It's you know. But then as time went on and as the different thing, like we bought DirecTV and the new incentives and then the new goals came out and then the more pressure on the management, it just turned into a job that I just didn't like. Like, I just would go there and I just couldn't wait to get home. And when I'd get home at the end of the night, I had no motivation. Any goals that I had would just fall to the wayside. Like, I started to do streaming and I got it rolling for a couple weeks, but then we had longer days of work because we lost an employee. So then we had to work 6 days a week and longer hours. And it was just, and then the goals, we had to hit more each of us. And it just got to the point where I was just come home so miserable. I didn't want to sit in front of the camera and talk to you guys. I didn't want to do any of this because I just felt like I wasn't myself. I wasn't happy. I wasn't in my zone. So right now I'm working a job where I'm part-time. I'm to the point where I'm almost scrounging to get by some of these months. Oh, I'm literally almost scrounged, but at the end of the day, I get out of work, I come here, I sit in front of my camera, I make content, I play games. I'm gonna get the stream going. I know I've been slacking on the stream, but I've been loving this YouTube content, man. But I'm happy to do it. Like, I'm excited. I feel good about it. I feel like I'm moving somewhere in life. Like, I have goals, even though I'm not racking up all this money anymore. Like, I feel like in the long run, I'm gonna get where I need to be. And so anyways, this video is probably gonna be like 20 minutes long. I really didn't plan on it being that long, so I apologize. But for those of you that lasted throughout it, man, you guys are the true ones. You are the homies. I appreciate you guys, and I hope we keep growing as a channel, man. I'm just really looking forward to this, man. I'm having so much fun making content. I appreciate you guys. I don't want to keep this going for so much longer, so you guys take it easy, stay safe, enjoy the rest of your days, and I'll catch you next video, homies.